Hi everyone. I am here making elderberry syrup and I'm worried that you might not be able to see everything clearly, so I might move you to a different location. But anyhow, I'm super excited to show you guys this, and I feel like we've done a couple videos on here, but I don't know what's recent. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys really quick how to make some elderberry syrup. I just put some new earrings in. I don't know if you guys can see out there, kind of cute. Anyway, so I just got started on doing this. I had a couple people that actually don't like to make it themselves, but they are all about making purchases and getting it from someone else. So here we go. It's a very, very easy recipe. It's super straightforward to make. It's actually very intimidating at first because you're thinking like, oh man, this is elderberry syrup. This is something that we're consuming for our health. Am I going to do a good job with this? And I promise you guys, it's really very, very simple, okay? So I am going to actually move you because I feel like you'll get a better view of the kitchen and be able to see what I'm doing a little better. So, all right. Perfect. That should work. Yay. Okay. So what I have over here is an Instant Pot, okay? Now, if you do not have an Instant Pot, you can boil this on the stove for 30 minutes, okay? I have an Instant Pot. It's really easy to program and do this. And the reason why we like Instant Pots, guys, for those of you who are really you like your slow cooker. Good morning, Amanda. You like your slow cooker. You like your crock pots and stuff like that. The reasons why people are so big fans of Instant Pots is that it holds all of the steam and the cooking action that's happening inside of it. And if you guys have learned about distillation, so the whole concept of steam distillation, so when we think about our essential oils, the way a lot of our oils are distilled, citrus oils are cold pressed from the rind, so it wouldn't be a citrus oil. But you take something like myrrh, okay, which is a resin, or frankincense, which is a resin, or you could talk about Idaho balsam fir, which is a tree, okay? They chop, or lavender, which is a plant. All of that matter is placed inside of a stainless steel container, and it's infused, like steam is a heat, okay? Heat is approach to it. They try to keep the temperatures as low as possible while still getting the best response from the plants or the resin, but to create the oil, okay? So that steam is trapped inside of there, and then it's captured, and then it goes through the process of condensing, so the cold air touches the pipes, which makes all of that steam turn back into a liquid, and then that's how we can separate the oil from the floral water, which is how steam distillation works. So that's the same kind of concept actually with an Instant Pot, because you've got all this heat being approached to whatever is inside your Instant Pot. And if you can trap that steam in there, that steam is actually carrying so many oils and nutrients. So if you can pressurize it and retain as much of that steam as possible during the cooking process, you're actually going to infuse more of the good constituents that are in your chicken, your peppers, and your elderberries. Does that make sense? So that's what we've got going on here with an Instant Pot. If you can't use an Instant Pot because you don't have one, it's okay. No judgy. And it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. You're still going to get really great elderberry syrup if you make it on a stove. But please don't use a slow cooker to do this, because then you're just going to overcook it and cook it for way longer than necessary. Does that make sense? 30 minutes is perfectly sufficient on a stove, or if you have an Instant Pot, use an Instant Pot. So anyhow, what we're doing with the Instant Pot is we're going to put the water and the elderberries and the wolfberries and the cinnamon sticks inside of this Instant Pot, and we're going to set it for, 14 minutes manually on high pressure. And then when you put your lid on, you're going to lock this guy by turning it back, okay? This holds the steam inside of it. If you do this, it's going to be an open valve, so all the steam will escape during the process, okay? So you want to close your valve. And then once it's done, it'll beep. And then if you want to, what I like to do is I turn it off, and then I let it depressurize on its own naturally. And when that little lid pops down, then I'll open it up and go from there. Today, I went ahead and released it. But anyhow, you're still going to get the very best elderberry syrup, I believe, from an Instant Pot, because again, you're keeping all of that goodness pressurized inside there. So, all right, so we are going to take our beautiful concoction. I've already cooked this for the sake of the video, and we're going to dump this. Now, what I have going on in the sink, let me show you first, actually, before I dump it, because I won't be able to show you once I dump it. I have one of these really cool mesh thingies. I think I got this at IKEA, okay? And then I actually have the Young Living Vitality bowl. So if you buy that Vitality set, I love this bowl. We use it every day, all the time. It has a silicone bottom so it doesn't slide around on my counter, which I love. It is stainless steel, which is fantastic. It does have measurement markers on the inside, okay? So I'm gonna put this inside of the sink so if it splashes, it's not as big of a mess. And I already have the elderberries cooking in here. I will post my recipe. You guys can find so many recipes, and it's not that any one is necessarily better than the other. I will say that I love making this with wolfberries in it because then you get the benefits of the wolfberries with the elderberries. So that's actually really fantastic. And wolfberries are really inexpensive. I think it's like $20. And that's wholesale, which everybody in here is a member, so you guys should all be paying wholesale for your goodies. So anyhow, I just dumped it into the strainer, and then I'm going to take my wooden spoon and I'm just gonna press and get, you know, some more of that good juice out of there. But you can see the wolfberries and the elderberries in there. You can see my organic cinnamon sticks. Where do you get your wolfberries is a common question that I ask. And guys, feel free to ask questions along the way. I am leaving the commenting up on my phone, so I should be able to see everything. So wolfberries you can buy a lot of different places. I like to read Amazon reviews if I'm going to buy it on Amazon and just kind of see how other people feel about the product. I just recently bought them on eBay because I was like, oh, this is a good price. It's a reputable source, blah, blah, blah. And then I realized it's coming from another country and it's not going to get here for like 30 days. And I was like, great. I'm so glad I just spent all that money on something that won't be here for 30 days. But anyway, so definitely check your shipping time if you're, you know, in a time crunch. But I did buy a really great bag of organic cinnamon sticks that I love on, what's it called? Amazon. And that's actually where I got my organic cinnamon sticks. So, all right. So I'm just going to take these. Yes, you could keep these. I have read some articles that suggest it's not as good to eat this, but you can. I will say this. If you're the kind of person who is excellent at going to the bathroom, you don't want to do too much elderberries. Like, you know, I freeze these and I put them in the freezer, and you could put them in a fruit smoothie. It was not very good for my husband because it was making his stool too loose, okay? But on the other side of that, if you're the kind of person that's highly constipated, yeah, leftover elderberries in your smoothies definitely going to help you go more often. So that's just another way to look at it. Sorry for the graphic description there, guys. All right, so we have, I'm going to just wash my hands here because I touched the trash can. We have the elderberry syrup, nice and steamy in there. The next step we're going to do is we're going to melt our sweetener, okay? So there are various types of ways you can sweeten elderberry syrup, all right? In my case, I am choosing to go with organic raw honey. I get these from Trader Joe's. They're pretty affordable. I like the little jars too. I actually reuse them sometimes and put body butters in these to give away as gifts. I just take the stickers off. I like to reuse as much as I can because we hope our recycling is good in this world, but it's not always. So anyway, you're going to put the amount of sweetener that you need to per your recipe. Okay. Again, I will post this recipe down here. I eyeball a lot of it because I've made it so much. So let's talk about sweeteners. There are so many kinds. If you're making this for someone who's diabetic, then you would probably want to use something like stevia for them to sweeten it because they are not really supposed to have too much sugar, right? If you are making this for your kiddos and you have someone who's under the age of 1, you're not going to want to use honey, right? Because teeny ones cannot have honey. If you are struggling with seasonal allergies and like springtime's coming and you found a beekeeper locally who makes you some amazing honey that's, you know, pollinated by the local bees, that's a really good idea, because whenever you can get honey from local bees, then they're going to pollinate with the flowers that grow in your area. And so that's actually a really smart way to help support your body when it comes to allergies and stuff like that. Does that make sense? So there's all different types of honey. And if you're on a budget, you know, you got to do what you got to do. If you don't want to spend the money on organic elderberries and, you know, organic honey and all that sort of thing, but you still want the benefits of elderberry syrup, then by all means, you do you know? So anyway, you're going to add your sweetener to this. This is about 1.5 cups of elderberries. 1.5 cups of elderberries, a little more than half a cup, about 3/4 cup of wolfberries. And we're going to put about 1.5 cups of honey in here. And then we're going to add our oils. So I'm just going to keep stirring until this honey is broken up in here. Really precarious place to put that. Let's go on this side. All right, does anybody have any questions on this? Now, something you can do while you're stirring is you can temper your bottles. Okay, now some of the different ways that we do our elderberry syrup is I actually will reuse my old Ningxia bottles because they pour really, really well, right? And so this is actually a really great way to do your elderberry syrup. Another way you can do it is mason jars, right? So this is actually for someone at my chiropractor's office. It even says Accordo Chiropractic on there, woot woot. So anyhow, we've got those for the elderberry syrup. So you've got different ways that you can store this. I've reused my old MindWise bottle. MindWise has been a huge, huge helper for my mental health. Over the last 3 months, I've struggled with bipolar depression. I think I've shared that multiple times on here. And I have not been able to be on medication for various reasons. And so one of the things that I do to help support my mental health is I actually take MindWise, and that's really been a huge game changer for me. It's helped me feel a lot more stable. So anyway, there's a lot of other things that I do too, supplement-wise, so it's not just one thing, but the MindWise was the real big game changer, which is why I'm mentioning it specifically. But anyhow, that's just my story. Anyway, so elderberry syrup, you can store this. So what I do is I'll run hot water, and my hot water is super, super hot at my house. And I temper the glass, and you're just basically getting the glass ready for this hot syrup to get poured in there, okay? Because if you just pour like straight into a glass, there's a chance you can break it, even though the glass might be a tempered glass in and of itself. You could still shatter glass, and that's just not fun. So my grandmother actually taught me this from canning. All right, so essential oil wise, we're supposed to use Vitality oil. Sorry, in the video this isn't a Vitality oil, but when we talk about it, there's no difference in this bottle than there is in the white bottle as far as the contents go. It's just the label. So what we want to use orange Vitality, okay? So I'm actually going to put in this recipe about 6 drops of orange essential oil. Oh no, wait, this is 1.5, so 7, 8. And then we're going to put 4 drops of clove, again, because this is 1.5. And we're going to put 6 drops of lemon. Sorry, when you get older with oils, you just start like shaking the bottle. So anyway, and then we're gonna just do 2 drops of myrrh. All right, so now we have that going in there. Now I'll tell you the fastest way I have found to fill my bottles, and I love doing it this way, is I just get a funnel and then I get a glass measuring cup, and I'm just gonna scoop the glass measuring cup into here and pour it into the funnel. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my funnel. All right, so we have funnel. We have a bottle that's being emptied of its hot water. And I'm just going to keep it right here in the sink. Okay, so this is an old Ningxia bottle and a funnel. And then I'm just going to scoop my mixture out. And I had the thought like, oh man, if I do it this way, then maybe I'm going to the first few bottles will have the most essential oil in it, but what I've noticed is that when I scoop, I go in, and when I come out, that top layer of water comes out, and it really does seem to balance the amount of oil and evenly distribute it when pouring it in. So this is a larger glass measure. So it's usually like 2 scoops is actually perfect for 1 Ningxia bottle. And then I just put the funnel in there for, you know, in between. And then I set that aside. So that is how you can make your, this I don't need a funnel for, obviously. That is how you make elderberry syrup. And you do want to keep it in the refrigerator once you've got it going. So it should be refrigerated. You also want to make sure that you know how to use it. Hey, Melanie. So with elderberry syrup, what you want to do is it's about 1 tablespoon a day for adults, okay, for maintenance. And then for the tiny humans, it's 1 teaspoon a day. Makes sense? And then for the times that you're falling below the wellness line and you need more elderberry syrup in your life, right? You want to do about 3 times a day. So just kind of spread that out throughout the day. So I think that's all the questions I typically get when it comes to making elderberry syrup. If you guys have any more, please type them in now. But other than that, keep it refrigerated. Take it once a day, especially through this season of the year. And when needed, you can increase your usage by 3 times a day. And I think that's everything. Any other questions? I'm going to fill these bottles up. Wait for any more questions. All right. Well, I think everyone's good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching and checking this out. If you're not sure or want to know where to get all this stuff, just message us and let us know, and I'll talk to you later.